Alright guys, on this episode of Wednesday's workshop, I'm going to go through a couple of things on these two bonnets. Now I need a bonnet for the blue, Apollo blue XB that I'm working on, the sedan. I was going to use this bonnet, but it's a bit rough, like rust holes on top. This blue one seems to be a little bit better. Who knows? Until I get the paint off it, that's the only time I'm going to really find out. I think it's got a few nasty hidden surprises underneath there, but what I need to do is de-skin the bonnet. But the reason why I want to show you guys the differences between these two bonnets, no doubt there'll be some other experts out there that might be able to shed a little bit more light on it. XB, it's got the pin cups, lockdown pins. This is more of your XC style of bonnet where no pin cups, no lockdowns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip them over. I'm going to show you underneath the good points, bad points from when they changed from XB to XC. But I am going to put the pin cups into this XC bonnet and turn it back into an XB bonnet. Now you can buy, well, I'm not sure if they're out yet, but by the time this video comes out, they might be, I'm not sure, but like you can buy, or they are reproducing the new bonnets for XB with and without the pin cups. Now, depending on how much time and effort I end up putting into this bonnet, if it ends up being cheaper for the customer that I just buy him one, I'll use this bonnet on one of my own projects and try and save the customer some money by buying him a new bonnet. But I don't know how much the new bonnets are going to be. I'd be tipping that they're going to be more expensive than what this is going to cost to repair. But once you start de-skinning a bonnet and, you know, welding up holes and that sort of stuff, it's going to end up, you know, there's a lot of hours involved in it. So I've got to try and make sure that I try and save my customer as much money as possible. I'm basically robbing myself of, you know, making money, but at the same time I like to try and keep my customers happy. That's what we do at NOHURY Restos. You like the little sign up there? Anyway, yeah, so basically that's how I go about it, as in try and save the customer money that way, because by the time he gets through what I've got to do, you still got trim, you still got motor, trans, diff, brakes, all that sort of stuff. Now, this car, I'm going to try and help the customer out as much as possible with everything. He's already taken his motor away to get rebuilt by someone else, so I can't warranty that, you know. But if I was to do it and something went wrong with it, I'd be like, hey man, no worries at all, bring it back. I'll take the motor out, I'll sort it out, whatever else. In this case, now it's like something goes wrong. Sorry man, I didn't touch it. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, not a big deal. But the new bonnets, what I've seen on the internet so far, they look really good, except there's just something funky happening just in this section here where it just looks too long or something. I don't know, it could be just the way they're filming it. Early days, so I want to see one of those bonnets, but I reckon that, like, no matter how you look at it, you got a brand new bonnet, it's going to be better than some sort of rusty thing that you're starting off with. Some of the other guys are like, oh no, I want the original one, I want the original one. Dude, man, like, if you can buy a brand new bonnet, hey, like, you know, if it's the same as the old ones, like, you know, calm down. You know, just, you're going to be saving yourself some coin. Just buy a new one, man, like, you know. But anyway, enough jibber jabber. So I'll show you how I go about putting the pin cups in. You've probably seen videos of other guys, how they do it. There's a bit of secrecy to it, where a lot of people don't want to show you how they've done it, how they've gone about it. I'm at the stage now where, you know what, I've done so many of these bonnets that I don't care anymore. Like, you know, I'm happy to show you guys. I'll even show you how I go about doing the XA bonnets when I get onto one of those. You know, I've never really shown people. I showed a couple of guys up in like interstate guys how to do it, and they've gone ahead and gone and done them interstate, because there was a couple of guys that were sending me bonnets from, you know, from Queensland down to here, and it cost them a fortune. So now I'm just like, you know what, go and see this guy. But anyway, I'll show you how to do all that. And when it comes down to the XA bonnets, sorry for the guys that like who are trying to keep it secret how you go about it and whatever else. I don't know, man. Like, for me, it's time to let it go. Just tell it how it is. Like I said, I've done something like 80 or 90 of those bonnets now, and, you know, let someone else do it. So, but anyway, cool. So I'll show you the differences. I'll flip them over, show you the differences. All right, so the first one we're looking at is this XC style bonnet. Now, what I want to point out to you is it's a bit rough. See the holes here, these elongated holes. So the XC style one has 5 along the side here. If I zoom out and take it back here, see that? So you got 5 of them. And the XB only has the 2. Good and bad points. A lot stronger. These, I believe, like, I've been told they were sort of like a crumple zone, where front impact, it would crumple from that section there, you know, from there, from there, from there, from there. The problem is, see where the hinge bolts to? So the hinge goes here, and soon as you get a sticky hinge or a hinge that's seized, it bends from there. So you will find a lot of these XC style bonnets have all bent from there. They all crack, and then they just bend, they just fold. So, I mean, this one's a bit of a mess, as you can see. Like, I mean, look at this. Here I was thinking it was a fairly good bonnet, but, you know, that's all right. We work with what we've got. And see the crack there? So basically, as soon as you get a sticky hinge, like, it'll fold from there. It'll just, yeah, not cool. So this one here, see, no crack, nothing. But, you know, it's pretty toasty and crusty. The problem with rust going through the skin is it's always, you know, you start welding it up and you sit there planishing and, you know, knocking it around for hours on end trying to get it straight. See, that's what I mean by, once I de-skin it, you know, there's quite a few hours in de-skinning it. Then I've got to get all the paint off it. Then clean it all up with, you know, some sort of deoxidine, or you can blast the frame, but I wouldn't go blasting the skin too much because you'll just end up warping it, you know. What I do, like, I put the sandblaster on, you know, a heap of angle sort of thing, and then just sort of like lightly go over it with some old, you know, garnet, and try not to warp it too much, you know. But still, you know, there's a lot of work involved in that sort of stuff. And as you can see, the XC style has another hole there, holes along here. I don't know, maybe they were just trying to save weight. I got no idea what they're trying to do. But anyway, see these bits here? That's locating pin. So basically they've all got this same sort of, that hole. You drill a hole through there, that's your location of your pin cups. But yeah, this underframe on here, yeah, I don't know, it's not too crash hot. I was thinking maybe I'll just weld up these ones to make it more like XB style, but the actual owner of the car, he provided this underframe a while back. So just looking at this underframe, like if I was to sandblast it again and clean it all up, it's actually quite good. So what I might end up doing is taking the skin off that other one after I've put the pin cups into it, and yeah, using this underframe and glue it back together and use this one. So yeah, as you can see, that's where the pin cups go. So you got your locking pin there. Yeah, same thing again at the back here. XC has a lot more holes. They've, you know, created all these holes along the back here. I don't know, maybe they were expecting a lot of people to get hit from the side or something. No idea. But XB only has the two. Basically, late XB is like this on the underframe as well. And yeah, I don't know about the pin cups. Yeah, someone else might know a bit more about them. But yeah, this underframe isn't too crash hot. But if I can save the top skin, because this top skin doesn't look too bad, and put it onto that other frame, we'll be laughing. I'll show you like how I'll go about de-skinning it now. Well, actually, I ended up going to get some new paint stripper. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the cams one. The paint shop didn't have any at the time, so I'm using some other brand. I'll let you know how I'll go with that one. You've probably seen my other videos where I didn't have much success with the cams one, but yeah, we'll see how we go with this other stuff. All right, well, let's get cracking. Brilliant paint stripper. Let's see how good it is. No doubt there's people out there that are telling me I'm doing it wrong and whatever else. That's cool. If you want to do a video and show me how to use it, that'd be great. All right, Della, make it go faster. Don't ask me why I always pick the windiest days to do this. Anyway, we'll be back. All right, let's see how brilliant this paint stripper is. Man, this stuff's just messy, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just expecting too much. Maybe I thought it would like remove paint, you know? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Don't ask me to review things like, I don't know. I would have thought it would remove paint, but obviously I'm just, yeah, like I said, I'm probably expecting a bit too much. You guys ever use this stuff? I kid you not, I reckon I could pour this over my breakfast cereal and eat it. Like, it's just like, well, this one won't even come out of the tin this time around, but it doesn't do anything at all. How's this? Looks like something out of Ghostbusters, you know, like. You know what? I'm going to turn the camera off and I'll come back to you once this is all stripped. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't give you, you know, 6 days worth of me paint stripping some bonnet. Like, this is stupid. I'll come back to you when it's all in bare metal. And then I'll show you some other stuff maybe. All right, catch us on the flip side. All right, so after a lot of hours sanding with the buzzer, just buzzing it down, paint stripper, it's actually not a bad bonnet. So normally XAs, XBs are always rusted along this front edge here, and as you can see, this is actually really good. There were so many layers of paint that I wasn't 100% sure what these corners were actually going to be like, because yeah, anyone who deals with these things knows that they're always, you know, rusted in these corners. There's sort of like a water trap from behind. So, but yeah, this is actually a lot better than I was actually expecting, so, which is good, always a bonus. Does have a little pinhole there. On the camera it actually looks like a big hole, but it's actually just sort of like surface rust around it with a really small pinhole in the middle of it. And there's a bit of surface rust there. The rear corners, it's most probably been sitting up on its edge where the water's been coming down and getting caught down here. So it's just a matter of like a small repair needs to be done there. A bit of surface rust there. Other sides not too bad, but you know, just, yeah, it's been sitting up on its edge, so it's been damaged a little bit there. But like I said, I'm going to de-skin this one anyway, and then I'll probably use the other frame, so we'll see how we go. But I'm going to deoxidine this now, and then we'll put those pins in. I'll show you how to put those pins in, the pin cups, and then, yeah, de-skin it then. If I do the pin cups after I de-skin it, then I don't know where my locations are for my pin cups. But anyway, I'll show you what I'm doing. So deoxidine now. You've probably seen this done 1,000 times anyway, so I'll just show you a little bit, and then I'll just put it onto faster mode so we can get through this. So what I got here is a mixture of 3:1 deoxidine, so 3 parts water, 1 part deoxidine, and then I've got a bucket of just water. I know some guys probably use something like methylated spirits to wipe it off. I just had a look around here and I don't have any, so I'm just using plain water. Just seems, what do they call it, counterproductive. Like, you're wiping bare metal with water. I don't know, man. It seems a bit strange, doesn't it? But anyway, yeah, like I said, some guys use metho. But anyway, let's just do this. So Scotch-Brite, you do small sections at a time. Bit of red Scotch-Brite, just, you know, what do you want to call it? Scraping it on, scraping it off, scratching it on. Is that rain? It's raining again. So yeah, just put it on. Once I de-skin it, then I'll end up like sanding this down again and again. Then I'll probably deoxidine it again, and then orbital sander, just whizzy it. Last time I got picked up for getting the old whizzy out, and so I'll get the buzzer out and buzz it down. So don't spit your coffee out, mate. So sorry, I don't know. I can't remember your name, your profile name. But apparently he nearly spat his coffee out when I said I'll get my whizzer out and whiz it down. So yeah, just get your buzzer out, buzz it down, and then you just don't let this stuff dry on here. But normally you do small bits at a time. It's late at night. I want to go inside. Let's just say I want to go inside and watch YouTube. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I just want to go inside. But I thought I'd show you guys how I go about this first. But like I said, normally you do small sections at a time, wipe it down, but it's not going to dry on me now anyway. And once you've done this, you sort of like, I don't know whether it does anything or not, just like, you're supposed to get all the surface rust off here, but there is no real surface rust on here. Like I was actually quite surprised how clean it was. So you've heard me mention it before, where you've got bare metal, and now I'm putting something else on that bare metal before putting epoxy on. So you know what I mean? Like, if you remember from my other videos, that, you know, some paint companies will not warranty their product if you're using deoxidine. Yeah, I'm not, I'm going to be buzzing this all back down afterwards anyway. So that's when I'll be cleaning it all off again anyway. And then once you've washed it all off, get a clean rag, dry rag, and wipe it all down again, or get the air blower out, blow it all down. There's a few dents in this bonnet, but not bad. Like, I was actually expecting it to be really bad, but no, it's not a bad bonnet. I'm pretty happy with it. Good old Chuck's Super Wipes. So if I was to epoxy over that now, you're left with a film underneath in between the epoxy and the bare metal. So that's why, like I've said before, like, I'm not a big fan. Like, why people would do that, I don't understand. But hey, everyone does everything differently, and I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, or whoever's right or wrong. I just, you know, you got to think for yourself where you're left with this sort of stuff underneath. Is that going to be any good? Because if you've got bare metal and there's nothing on there, and you're epoxying over that bare metal, I don't know, to me, like, that's the best thing to be doing. I reckon if it's totally clean bare metal, then there's nothing there. Whereas now, you're left with a film there. And I don't like the idea of it. So, yeah. But anyway, I'll be, like, you know, buzzing that back down when I'm ready to sort of like do epoxy on it. For the moment, that'll be all right. And then I'll de-skin it. Sorry, I'll put my pin cups in first, then de-skin it, and then we'll, you know, clean up underneath the bonnet, and then epoxy, whether I paint the bonnet frame and the underneath and then glue them back together, or whether you just epoxy and then glue it back together and then paint it afterwards. As long as you've got some sort of something between, you know, the two surfaces, that they're not going to start rusting and, you know, have the same issue again. Because this little hole here would be, it's not going to go from the top down, it's going to come from the bottom up. where between the frame and you got two bits of bare metal together and moisture sitting in between there. So it's going to be pushing up. Make sense? Good. So for yous that are do use or will be doing deoxidine on your projects and that sort of stuff, just get it to that stage, buzz it all back down again. If you're not de-skinning, like, you know, just buzz it all back down and then clean it off good and proper, and then, you know, epoxy. And if you do have a couple little bits of surface rust still on there, like, you know, there's still just, you know, a couple, you can go back over them, like, you know, just get those little bits of rust out. But like I said, at this stage, I'm not really too fussed about them. The deoxidine now has, it's sort of like stops the surface rust for the moment as well. Like it's sort of like its own little protector thing, which again, like I said, it makes you wonder, like, what if you're putting epoxy straight over that, then you're in trouble, I reckon. But anyway, ask 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different opinions, aren't you? So, all right. Anyway, let's do some other stuff. So just before I showed you which hole the pin cups come through, okay, this hole here, not this one, this one, okay? So what you do now, you just drill a hole through there, through the center of it. Same on the other side. We flip it over and double check, make sure that just a little bit off there, so 175, 178. So at this point now I can still move my little template around to suit, make sure that both sides are the same. Except now I seem to have lost my blue texter. Fortunately I found my black one. So I said 8, and that one there's, okay. Goes this way, 7.5. So basically split the difference. We're only talking a millimetre here. Draw a round template. Cordless tools are the best things in the world until the battery goes flat. Okay, now it's going to get a little loud. I should turn the mic off, but I won't because I want you to hear this. Wasn't too loud, was it? Grab a spinner. Oh, of course it's missing. That's all it is. Okay, now it's going to get loud. Earmuffs on. Ta-da! Just checking that you're where the line's marked. That's your template line. The light's casting a shadow over the top of it. Block your ears. All right, there you have it. Pin cups are pressed in. Now I just got to clean them up a little bit. Put my cup underneath. Normally, if I'm not de-skinning the bonnet, I put the cup underneath and just weld it 4 tacks on the inside. But because I'm de-skinning it, I'll put the pin cups on once it's de-skinned and I'll just weld it from the outside. Okay. You know what? I reckon that's enough for this video. So I reckon we leave the de-skinning to the next video. What do you reckon? Sound like a plan? I reckon we do that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it the old like and subscribe. Joy to the world. Have a good week.